Yo, what's going on? Ready to kick off the 117 date. Gonna end it well with the Master Chief 117 late night after dark special. Certainly hope you all been doing well today. But as you all know, the Master Chief here to speak about the code that we have seen playing out today. A lot in the NFL that I witnessed as I worked 2 jobs today. And anyway, we're here to talk about Bitcoin, the liquidity, the bridge currency of the world, right? And Bitcoin price discovery that we've been breaking down and following for months here, as we saw that 126K in October, again tied to the liquidity that Bitcoin is tied to, the cryptocurrency market being the bridge between the old financial system and the new financial system, tied to the cosmos, the 117 and the 126 as well. So very important. This 117 code has been a compass for me to, navigate this market. A very powerful special chart of mine is looking at the legend of 117 and John Michael Shook, the Master Chief, Coach Abe of crypto. Okay, so looking at our work over the last 6 years, we've really been able to do some historical and mind-blowing things using astrology, numerology, gematria, ancient astrotheological teachings from an ancient prehistoric world, and then tying it all together with the seasons and bringing you guys what we call cherry blossom season and, well, the timeless market cycles that we've been navigating again for the last 6 years, and breaking down the start of January this year and the new year, new cycle rally looking primed to try and get back up to that 103.7, 137, the 33rd prime number range, right? And then 107, 117. You guys, back to that 117K as we exit out of January 17th. And we hit that first ever 117K 191 days ago on 7/11, the 117 code. So, just history made off this number. So I wanted to end today very powerful and bringing you guys, what I do best, my work, the code. So let's do it. My ears were getting cold. I was like, dang, I ain't got my boggin on. No wonder. But anyways, here we are, back at it again. 191 days ago, we saw the first ever 117K Bitcoin. That's tied to the 43rd prime number in mathematics, okay? We just saw a 43-day government shutdown, okay? So that 43 is known as the 14th prime number in mathematics as well. Very powerful, tied to Osiris. And, we're looking for that Osiris ritual to come in the charts, that euphoric rally to continue to take us into that needle blow off top. Something very similar to, 2021, 2017, we don't have it on this chart, but 2013 as well, right? The end of Uranus retrograde, ending with that euphoria that we've always seen it bring, okay? That rally into new all-time highs and the end of the cycle. Here we are, Uranus retrograde, the end of it being very strong, very euphoric, okay? So we'll see how this plays out this year. We've been mapping this in the classes, here at the Discord, dailycandleclosenews.com, etc. You got to stay up to date and see what we're mapping out over the next several days until we end Uranus retrograde. So here we are today, not in 1635, but in 2026. On on 117. And if we were to go to the end of Uranus retrograde, we don't have long, but this is 17 days away. That 17 code that we've been breaking down on the world stage for you, that we're seeing everywhere. All right. So from the 17th day of the year, 17 days away from the end of Uranus retrograde, what can we see? Okay. So speaking about this 17 code, we know again that's tied to Q, Trump, right? But anyways, I've been breaking down this 17 code since the very first kickoff of the NCAA College Football Championship, and breaking down how these games in college and NFL have been tied to this 17 code. And again, today, during the Broncos and Bills game, red, white, and blue, tied to America right here, tied to Trump, tied to America's 250th anniversary coming up, right? We see this 17 code again. Broncos with 17 points. The Bills with 10. Drop the 0 in the rules of numerology. You got 117 on 117. You can't make this up. Denver scored 3 points in the first quarter, 14 in the second, 3-14. That is the pie code. I knew they were winning. But I've been picked them months and months and months ago. You can look in last year's Super Bowl blog and see that I ended talking about the Denver Broncos. What? No, you didn't, Coach. Yes, I did. Okay, so anyways, very powerful, right? But then we go on to see the Bills score 17 points as well. The 17 code, they are ran by Josh Allen, number 17. Bo Games is on a 7-game winning streak. 7-game come from behind in the fourth quarter drive winning streaks. 17 is the 7th prime. Okay, so very powerful. We then see this game tied at 30-30 at the end of the game. The 3-3 code, that Freemasonic alchemy color scheme of the blue and the orange that you see me in today, right? Playing out yet again. This is the third playoff game ever to be played in overtime in Mile High Stadium. And I told my Pioneers at 6:53 p.m. as this game was heading into overtime that the winner wins by 3, that there could be a Bo Nix, Tim Tebow story playing out to me. And what do we see? Bo Nix goes down after completing the third to last play of the game. Then the Broncos kicker, number 3, on the third possession in overtime, kick a 3-point field goal to end the game 30-33. And we know that by the code Royal Arch of Freemasonry, the Boaz and Yachin, the Royal Arch that we discuss here, by the code, that gives us that 117 and that 333. No, you can't make this up, right? And then the backup Broncos quarterback who did play for Auburn, orange and blue, Bo Nix, who went down today. Okay, so he'll play the next game. Jarrett Stidham, who ended his career at Auburn, first played for Baylor, Sick'em Bears. Okay, so watch the orange and blue Bears tomorrow. Anyways, pay attention here, okay? They should go on to play, the Broncos should go on to play the Patriots. He played for the Patriots, okay? They should see a rematch to play the Patriots after the Patriots beat the Texans tomorrow. Red, white, and blue teams are going down. 250th American birthday of America, tied to the Patriots and the Patriot games that Donald Trump started, right? Pay attention here. Bo Nix also played for the orange and blue Auburn team before transferring to Oregon. Okay? You see what's happening here? The Freemasonic alchemy playing out. Jarrett Stidham he comes in as the quarterback today on 117. He's completed a total of 117 passes in the NFL. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, you guys. Okay? This is all, though. And also, if we use the rule of Kal-El, which allows us to subtract or add one number to a number sequence, his name also gives us 118. When we add Ryan, his whole name, 262, the number we told you to watch out for in the 2026 year, 262 code. Okay, but the 118 minus or subtract 1 and you have 117 today, right? Very, very unique. But this is all about, again, as we head into America's 250th anniversary. In that overtime game today, one of the sides of the coin was America's 250th anniversary logo for the 250 coming up. Y'all didn't notice that? Anyways, but Samuel, Uncle Sam, right? The number one defense in the league right now is the Seattle Seahawks. Okay? So pay attention now. Pay attention to what we've been laying out and dropping for you for months now in the Discord tied to this code. So I've had the Broncos playing the Seahawks or the Rams. Okay? Alright? So we will see. I have the Bears potentially losing to the Rams tomorrow. Okay? I've been spot on with this NFL and NCAA college football and NFL football playoffs, you guys, in the Discord. I'm just sitting back, just nonchalantly telling you guys who's going to win. I ain't even really decoding, having to. Like, again, I was talking about the Broncos in last year's Super Bowl post. You can read it on my website and my blog. It's a 3-part blog. Okay? So, let's just see how this plays out as we head into America's 250th birthday. But very unique, very powerful, what we're witnessing on the world stage right now with this 17 code and in the NFL and, you know, the alchemy playing out with the orange and blue code of Freemasonry, of the horse year coming up, and the Broncos potentially galloping their thoroughbred selves into yet again another Super Bowl appearance. Okay? So very powerful, very unique. But thanks for bearing with me, you guys. We got to talk about the new Fear and Greed Index at 49 again. You know, sitting there at that 7th square root number. 7 times 7 is, 49. But again, today being the 17th, 17 being the 7th prime number. I'm not surprised to see this, hanging out right here pretty neutral before we potentially get greedy again. Like I've been calling for greed since October to come back to this market while everybody was calling for a bear market that we completely mapped out. Play by play, day by day by day, throughout November, December, and the start of January to get us back to where we are now, potentially getting ready to reach up to 103,000, okay? We've had this mapped out since 2022, you guys. All right, and the bear market lows, potentially reaching up to as high as 149,000 to potentially as high as 174 to 181,000, and now maybe even seeing that first ever 211,000, 3.618, 4.236 fib extension since 2021. A 6-year fib pool, okay? 211 being the 47th prime number in mathematics. Okay? Mathematics. Alright? Being tied to, president number 47. Right? So very powerful, very, explosive that we could see this market get. Okay? As we end off Uranus retrograde and see the first ever potentially right translated cycle out of Uranus stationing direct into cherry blossom season, and possibly into June this year, Trump's birthday and the 250th birthday of America and Uncle Sam. But anyways, so pay attention, okay? Because we are the only one laying this out for fucking free for you all, and still calling bangers at a flawless fucking rate in this cryptocurrency space. And another like it. So anyways, let's continue to go on. we've been seeing this deviation out of this Wyckoff accumulation schematic and into a spring that we could see, right? But we're springing from that 91.1 range, that big bully that we've been beating up, and we've been mapping you through and helping you beat up the big bully that's been giving you noogies and swirlies and wedgies all month of December. Okay, so remember that Christmas 2025, the 119 code. Here we are approaching 119, January 19th. Okay, the eve of the 1-year anniversary of Trump's inauguration, and you don't think we could potentially go phew? So as long as we hold 91.1, we might retest it again on 119. Wouldn't that be unique to be right back at 91,100 on January 19th and then go up and away as we then see the 1-year anniversary of Trump's inauguration? Dang, that'd be crazy, right? So let's see what happens, you guys. But anyways, back to mapping this out, this golden chart that we've been presenting you, 79 days from Trump's inauguration to the 4/7 date last year. He's the 47th president, right? Okay, anyways, we hit 74K on 4/7, 79 days after his inauguration, and then went at a cherry blossom season and blossomed into the 126K highs that we called in advance. Not bragging, not boasting, but it was, you know, like I said, tied to Bitcoin price discovery and the fucking cosmos, tied to liquidity, all tied to Bitcoin. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up though. Okay, but anyways, then we fell 79 days into Christmas Eve, and we've been going up since. What a fucking Christmas present. I don't know, did you do it again, coach? We did it again! Anyways, so here we are, new year, new cycle rally, 97K out of 79 lows, as above, so below, tied to gold. Duh. Anyway, on our way back to 117K. Just got to get to 103, 106 first. Okay? So, golden. Alright, but anyways, bullish megaphone that we discussed last night in class with Duke Doobie and Crypto Will and Edel and Oz and whoever else was there, Modern Sword and the whole crew, Patoy. You know what I'm saying? We had some fucking legends on. Alright? You know, so you should have been there. Alright? But anyways, Uranus retrograde, we've talked about this at nauseum. It's the number one most important chart in the history of the world right now for cryptocurrency, because it's never been seen before until we shared it this past year in 2025 and made history with it. So anyways, with that being said, we're still looking at XRP to hold $2.04. Like, we're very lucky to get this again, but again, we've got to hold $2 and 196. If we lose that, then we could go back to that 153 range that I've been expecting to see potentially as low as as low as $1.21 ish, you know. But we could see that's just the level I've been expecting for potentially any January lows that we were to see 1 year from Trump's inauguration in January, from the highs of the market then to potentially 1 year later giving us some lows before an explosive move the next day and start of a, you know, explosive move at the 1 year anniversary of his inauguration. So we could see maybe a little bit more lows for the altcoins. We'll have to pay attention. Just see what happens tomorrow. And then to the 19th, that first 21st, 22nd microstructure reset recycle of the month of the year. So the first one of the year, the 21st, 22nd microstructure reset recycle, is happening in a few days. So that's the transition out of Capricorn. Okay, so very important. Alright, so let's see what happens right here. But with that being said, you guys, you know, we're gonna go ahead and get off here. It's just a real quick short update, basically a 17-minute video, right, heading into the 18th tomorrow, 18th today, so an 18-minute video. So much love, have fun, enjoy your day, and take care, pioneers. Get ready for some more explosive moves to 103 coming soon.